And here we are. We are live again with Crone's Crucible. We had a little problem with our broadcast last night, but we're on tonight and raring to go on our push for affiliate. We hope we make it. Hi, gang.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Half insane and half mad. How about you?
About right. Okay.
Been a fun while.
Yep, we are ready to go here. We've got a group who last week got given a wonderful manor. Of course, it's a little on the beat up side and boarded up and run down and might need a few dollars, dragons in this case, to put into it, but you know, it's sort of there.
Yeah, you know, we risked life and limb against a mind flayer, an intellect devourer, and a half-orc.
Technically, we
And in
didn't even
return-
really scratch those two. I mean, to be fair.
But they were still there. They were still a present danger. And in return,
Yeah.
we got a rundown manor instead of the gold we were promised that we're probably going to have to pay property taxes in the future. Thanks, Volo!
Yeah, it's about exactly.
Or
We also forget to mention that one of us almost died doing this too.
Yeah, but then he deserted us, so meh.
Excuse you.
and then for anybody who was going to watch last night, but saw that we were canceled, my kiddo's okay. The radiologist called. Everything is fine and normal, so it's just being treated like a big old bruise.
Yeah.
Very good. We're
Apple
glad.
Beach champions.
Yeah, we're glad that Little Fingers did not get more severely hurt than that. It's painful enough what she got, so we're glad that
Can I
she's
say-
okay.
Can I say one thing about our house? It's a little bit of a fixer-upper.
No, be gone.
Oh,
No,
God.
you
if
can't deny me that. It was perfect.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. She ever utters the phrase, let it go, we're kicking her from the party, right?
You could try.
Yeah, this is
You kind of lose the meat shield though. Then
Yeah.
what they did, and after experiencing a near-death event, Lyric decided that a bard did not belong in the depths of a dungeon, so he decided to return to playing music for a living, and instead had his mentor friend, individual that he knew who has been up till now for quite some years, has been the caretaker at the City of the Dead, which is the enormous graveyard in Waterdeep. For those of you who don't know, it takes up about a tenth of the city, which is a big city, so it's a large area. And he has been shepherding the dead and has now moved in to take care of the party, which, with the type of person that you're looking at, you're not sure if he's going to help or hinder the situation. I just was noticing the foundation on this manor looks like it's propped up with some bricks that's been piled under the floor. It looks a little dangerous. That corner down there looks decidedly unstable.
I've seen worse.
Anyway, when you come into this thing, when you approached it, basically you went through a patchwork of buildings and areas. Some buildings are in better shape than others, although most of the area is in better shape than Troll Skull Manor. There are a lot of row houses here that are close together, people kind of building up instead of out because they don't have a lot of room. And all the buildings show their age. It's an older section of the city. A lot of the facades are well kept, but you can tell that there's been a lot of repairs with it. There are frescoes and entryways and hanging plants and things on it. It looks like people are kind of upper middle class working people who are trying to make their homes look somewhat presentable to the area. There's a degree of art involved in them, but it's certainly not the unabashed display of wealth you would see in the noble sectors, the castle ward and things like this. It's definitely people who have to work for a living, and although they might have a single servant who maybe a maid or maybe a gardener, they would not have a full staff at all. They wouldn't have that kind of thing. A few of the houses probably were once very grand, but they do have multiple stories and turrets and things on them, but they are falling into disrepair. People aren't able to keep them up as well as they would like. And yours would definitely fall into the falling into disrepair category. Now, it looks like the manor was once quite elegant, and as you found out as you pulled off a few boards and kind of peeked your head in, the downstairs at some point had been converted to a tavern as probably a money-making operation as it fell out of use with people with more wealth. And there are a lot of other businesses in this area. You are basically in an area known as Troll Skull Alley, which is where Troll Skull Manor takes its name from. This residence, this old manor, is the only one that stands dark. The others show activity, and in the early morning hours or the evening, you would see that there were lights on in the various buildings, but this one is dark. However, it has a large courtyard around it, which could be used for business operations. There's a total of 4 stories in this thing, 3 actual stories and an attic as well. So you have a lot of room in this thing. Let me show you what your residence area looks like with your various compatriots that you have in the area. You're in an alley that looks like this. Alley meaning a small street off of the main thoroughfare areas of the city. And if you want to see the full map, I can show you.
I just see a black screen.
Same.
Okay, let me see why. This is probably got dynamic lighting on it. Yes, it does. It should not have dynamic lighting, but we will do this anyways. I'm not exactly in agreement with everything they do. It's got global illumination. Okay. I'm going to take I'm just going to give you the map. I'm not going to try this. Are you able to see anything more now?
No.
I just refreshed and it's still a black screen for me.
Alright, everybody drag their token onto the map, see if that helps.
Token.
Nope. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Thank you, Roll20.
Here, roll 20. Dynamic lighting on a map you're supposed to be able to see through. Not the Y system.
It's okay, guys. It's only a day that ends with Y when it comes to Roll20 not working.
I mean,
All they have to do is pay us, and we'll say nice things about it.
Let me check your tokens that you have vision, which you should. You shouldn't have any problem with that. Has sight.
There we go. I think I got visual. I got visual. If you guys are still black screen, try refreshing. That's what I did.
beep, 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 beep.
I only see 2 tokens on the map. I see Cashin. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. I see somebody down here. Pull them up.
Yeah, someone is over here as well.
I pulled mine over to the far
I see
corner.
Relian, Cashin, and
Epi's in kind of is right here.
Nokri. Yeah, I see Nokri. Okay, let me pull Epiphany up.
Okay, now I can see it.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I think we're all doing the refresh thing at the same time, so it was like...
And I'm missing...
Yeah, I don't see my token. I don't know how to get my token on
You
here.
just grab your name and drag it on. Let me get your character
Grab
sheet.
my name and drag it on.
Keep it down, to break it down. What? No one is paying me copyright
Unless
for
it's
music.
this. Oh, there we go. I got it. I was grabbing
There
the
we
wrong.
go.
He got it. He got it.
There
No,
we
you
go.
can't have
Okay,
it.
5 people. We got a big cash in, however. Let's shrink cashing down just a bit.
Shrink that ego. No, I'm kidding. The token is only as big as his ego.
You can't shrink the ego.
You're right. We have to cut it down.
I'll get the axe.
Give me the axe, the axe. All right, I'm going to put you in front of Troll Skull Manor.
Hi.
This is Troll Skull.
Oh my.
Hey, it's still on black screen.
Did you refresh?
No, hold on.
Refresh that baby. I'll try turning the dynamic image back on now that we seem to be functioning again.
It's okay. Hi.
I think its caching needs to be on push to talk because I'm hearing my voice coming back and it's driving me nuts.
That's not me.
It's not me. I'll mute myself real quick and see if it's still doing it. Da-da-da-da.
Talk. Yep, I can hear me.
Alright, let me mute mine.
Talk. Now I can't.
Aha!
How is that
Dang it, Brett.
possible? I have headphones.
Yeah, but
You
And
can
I don't have any external
No.
sound.
Microphones will pick up from your headphones. I've had it happen to me. So
It's that sensitive.
yeah, some of the headphones are very sensitive.
It's
just like you.
how is this? I'm moving it back.
I'll find out in a moment. I can't hear much right now, but some headphones are very, very sensitive.
It's gonna be something in the settings I think you can tweak later to make sure that doesn't happen often. Or something with the microphone settings is to play with through the optimizers and junk.
Okay, dynamic lighting is back on, and you are in front of the Troll Skull Manor as you did. I just want to give you a kind of a tour of the zone. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to slide this out just a bit. I'm going to grab all of your tokens and move them around. I'm going to move them. You basically enter from this area here. That's the entrance to what's called Troll Skull Alley. You come to your manor first area that you come to. Then you have a kind of a dead-end area here and a dead-end street, but there's a walkway that goes back in here, and there are more buildings that go back there. Many of these buildings are businesses. So you are welcome to explore and find out what the various businesses are. Now, soon after the transfer of the paperwork, much as you hinted when you were joking coming in, Volo kind of very quickly, as he sort of shakes your hand, congratulates you on your proud ownership, and you're looking and you're seeing dragon signs appear as you're seeing all the things that are going to have to be repaired. He also mentions that there are certain fees related to taxes. And oh, by the way, if you need to start businesses, you need to pay various dues and fees to the various guilds that will maintain it, such things as the Meat Carvers Union, who will expect certain fees if you're going to get quality meat served at the tavern, the Vintners Association, the Launderers Association, whatever you might do, you're going to have fees to various organizations. And you can see the dragon signs building up very rapidly on this building. It looks like it is going to be something that is going to be a lot of outgo for a while before it's income. So that leaves us with our basic question. What do you guys, as adventurers, what do you as the PC character, hope to do with this?
Use it to trap Volo deep within and use him as a torture toy. Because Like basically hearing all this, and as this is going on, just in the back of Epiphany's mind, and he's just sending it to Rail. He's just like, we are being deceived here.
We're being screwed, we're being gypped, we're being conned, we're being manhandled, and I, for one, don't like it. Wait, do
At
I?
least-
No, I don't.
At least our names are not on the deed.
I am now going to say that you can individually move around this alleyway. You don't have to stay as a group in this particular zone when you're here, so you're welcome to move around if you want to explore any places and find out what's in them in your neighborhood. And you can discuss what you think the floor plan would be useful for and so forth. If you need to see the floor plan, I can put that up for you. Hopefully we won't have a problem with you not being able to see that one.
I think we got that in the handouts, but yes.
I think she was talking to the audience, but
Oh,
yeah.
Yep, sorry. I couldn't tell.
Well, it just, in general, we seem to have problems when we're changing maps here on Roll20 tonight where you can't see the page, so hopefully you'll be able to see the page if I change over to the floor plan. But you basically have a large downstairs. It looked like at one time there was like a receiving area for the manor, and that has been opened up and a counter was put in. There is a broken mirror behind the counter. There is dust on everything. There are a few broken dishes and some dusty old empty wine bottles in a cabinet behind the counter. And there are a number of tables, only about half of which are usable, along with chairs. So what do you think you are going to do with this? First of all, what kind of establishment? Or establishments? Maybe you're going to have many businesses. Are you going to do?
Turning towards Cash-In, Nakrio, look at him and go, I think you said you had some ideas, but I have a few of my own. We'll have to collaborate. Perhaps tonight to figure out exactly how we want to divvy up certain areas. And I do apologize, our new friend here. I didn't quite catch your name. And I'm going to be looking at the shepherd.
The cleric.
Oh, my name is Emriel, though the people of Waterdeep has decided to call me the Shepherd.
Emery, Epi, Emery.
We do not enjoy that. Please do not say it again.
I concur with what Epi has
We
said.
are known as Epiphany. You are not friend.
Now, Epiphany, they will become a friend in due time. They were highly recommended from our former ally, after all.
Epiphany will establish a mental connection with the shepherd and just say, you are not friend yet, and then reestablish with Raw.
How will the shepherd, I'm curious, I really am curious, how would the shepherd respond to suddenly having Epi's thoughts in his mind? He's used to a lot of silence.
I don't know. He's still hooded, so they probably wouldn't actually see his face.
We do not care what his face is. We are used to people not showing faces.
We have a very faceless group in this party, I'll tell you what.
Indeed, we do. Perhaps soon we shall all be forgotten.
Oh my goodness.
Jokes.
Goobers.
Okay.
You goober.
So yeah, Epiphany would say, perhaps we should investigate the new abode and decide what rooms would be best used as what. And then we
I
can
call
figure out.
Attic.
Yep. We will speak as a team, will we not?
Let me pull you over to the actual floor plan. Let's see if they have dynamic lighting enabled on that. I'm going to take that off, actually. Because you have I believe I gave you the handout, didn't I, for this floor plan? Did I give that to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's no reason to have dynamic lighting on this. You know what everything is here. Let me go through this. Okay, so you've got a wine cellar basement. You've got an attic storage. You've got this very oddly set up here, which seems to be the norm in this set of maps that they've got. All right. So this is the main floor. Don't need that.
And presumably we come in like this is the main air door here.
Yes. Yeah, or these steps just above it maybe, but that would be a secondary door just to the side of it. And then the steps in the back would be rear entrance. So yeah, this is the main entrance over here to the side. You slide this. I guess people can see what it is. I'm trying to get something.
Yeah. It looks like this entrance, like stairs and such
Yeah.
are to
Yeah.
the tavern, whereas the back entrance goes
Go to the apartments.
Yeah.
Which
We
works
appre-
out for privacy
we-
reasons.
We
Yeah,
appreciate this deception.
These are stairs, and this is probably like a porch.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it looks like the only way up to the second floor is through the outside because I don't see any upstairs. Like how in the hall on the second floor will reach to the third floor.
Oh yeah, because there's
So
no
go
other
to the common
stairs
room. Which is
here to here, whereas then these go.
Yeah,
up
it's
here.
external stairs to the upstairs. You go, if you look at what I thought were these back stairs, they're not. You go outside and you go up to the upstairs from the outside here. These are upstairs access. And then once you are in that area, yeah, there are stairs here at the hall for higher up than that.
I mean, I think that works out, so any of our business doesn't mingle in with our private affairs. What do you all think?
Let me put you all in the tap room right now so that that again. Thank you. Just drag your own on. Makes it easier. I'll shrink Cassian's down when it gets on too big. I've got to get his reset.
Big man's in the house.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Vane Leaper, there is no second balcony from you to jump from.
I need
Are you-
Rel in the tap
are you
room,
dis-
and I need
disap-
the shepherd in the tap room. Okay, I'll zoom in on our tap room as we explore our new surroundings here.
So,
We would like to investigate.
so what did the nail biter say?
No biter?
You know, because he ate the fingers.
Okay.
What?
Are you disappointed that there are no second levels for you to jump dramatically from?
I mean, it's a bit of a hassle to go outside and then go up the stairs to go to the apartments.
Well, you can always renovate it.
Oh,
Indeed, we are disappointed as well.
oh, Cece, that's my new name for you, Cece. Cassian the Clean, it's clever. Cece, I've got a great idea. How about we go up to the second floor, you jump out a window. It would be just like old times, and by old times I mean yesterday.
No.
That- the alliteration is interesting. Perhaps we could sell flat tomato-based sauce-covered objects.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to figure out How does one? Oh, okay, there's the hatch to the basement. Okay.
Yeah.
That was completely
Okay,
in
oh, no.
character, by the way.
Banished.
Yeah, does it?
Why, oh my god, can we turn the manor into a pizza parlor?
We shall call it
Sure, we'll
manner.
find Italians first. How's that?
We will invent them.
Oh, God.
What do I have to roll to invent pizza?
You just have to roll for cooking. We'll see how ingenious you are. Yeah, basically, I believe you've got a fireplace here. This is the counter with the bar stools here. Hatch to the basement there, a pantry here. This just looks like a little nook that probably people can have a quiet conversation. You've got a cooking fireplace down here in the kitchen. Pretty much the first floor is dedicated to meals and drinks. What are each of you looking at the moment? What are you exploring or doing?
Cashin is exploring the bar.
Epiphany is just checking damage.
What about the bar are you exploring, Cashin? Are you looking to see what's under the counter? What are you?
Under the counter and on the shelves, whatever.
Shepard, what are you looking at there in the bar area?
I would be inspecting the wine cellar door.
Okay, so you open the door and go on down into the cellar, which you are welcome to move your token over there if you want to. The wine cellar is there, yep. And
this is the area. I would leave the door open so people could hear me if I run into anything.
Quick, close it before someone falls in. What?
things seem relatively normal, if dusty and out of use. You don't seem to be running into rats or anything terribly bad. It's almost frightening in the fact that you're not running into anything. The most frightening thing you've encountered so far is the bill that you're racking up.
Definitely no rodents of unusual size.
But overall, the condition seems to be okay, just not cared for.
Exactly. The building looks like it's pretty well sound. It's just going to need maybe some boards replaced and paint and renovation on tables and this kind of thing, because you had a lot of damaged furniture. It looks like they threw a really big party on the last night, and so that's kind of bad. As Cashin would all of you who are in the upstairs roll a perception roll. Cashin is rumbling around in the under area of the counter to see what kind of bottles you got. You find the bottles are empty. They're either dried up or they downed them on the last night of it. The first one to notice as he stands up, he turns around from being under the counter, and he turns around and looks at the mirror, which has two big cracks running down it. It's broken into three big pieces. It's a large mirror that ran behind the bar, but it's broken now in three big hunks. And you had looked at the mirror a little bit ago, and when you look back at the three pieces of the mirror, kind of broken, and it almost looks like it's floating inside the mirror, you see the words, "You are not wanted," written in the dust. But it looks like it's inside the mirror.
So just trying to get the visual. So like the mirror is cracked, and the way that the it's done as such is that it's still in the mirror, just not fallen down, and in the kind of the backing of the mirror is where something's written in the dust.
It would be as if somebody on the back of the mirror had dust and wrote it in the dust on the back of the mirror, but it showed through on the front.
It's haunted.
Either way, Cashin just looks around at the mirror and just yells out, "Hey, turns out this place is haunted."
We see no evidence of this, and Epiphany goes to proceed mending the mirror.
Okay. Do you have to give me? You have to roll something to see if you actually do
No,
it.
it repairs a single break or tear. You said there's 3 pieces, so that's 1, 2.
God.
That you said something about haunting? What?
So you're casting it twice.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So the mirror.
It takes a minute to cast, but after 2 minutes, he'll have like he like takes his claw and just licks his he like spits onto his claw, just the acid just.
Please seal the mirror that way.
And yeah, the mirror is now healed, so that's one expense you don't have. You don't have to buy an expensive new mirror. And as you mend the mirror, the writing that's on the glass just slowly seems to fade like a candlelight that's dying as the wick dies. It just slowly fades off the back of the mirror.
You said that we were haunted. What was your evidence? And I'm assuming the mirror is like back here.
Yes.
There was writing. There was writing there. It said that we are not wanted.
We are not wanted. Very well. Hold on one moment, and I will cast Detect Magic. And so Epiphany's eyes just roll back, and there's like marks on the eye on the bottom parts of his eyes, and he's looking around to see if he detects any magic.
You detect a very weak aura of magic around the mirror, but not much anywhere else. It doesn't appear to be a whole lot of magic in the area, but something a little bit in the magic vein was used to do the writing.
Okay. Does it appear to be illusion or enchantment? But it basically appears to be like some sort of spell, probably left left that there.
Illusionary.
Yeah. Okay. Would Epiphany, in the 10 minutes that he could concentrate on detect magic, would he be able to do like a quick circuit of the house just to see if he picks up anything?
Yes. And there it's seems to be a very average, normal sort of building, except for that one place and that one experience.
Okay. So yeah. So he'll just kind of meander through the house quickly, just kind of seeing if he gets any pings. And then he will come back downstairs after exploring a bit and report that whatever writing was on the mirror was the only magic he could sniff, and it was some sort of illusion.
I suppose that's a good thing. Would have been a little bit difficult if it was something of the supernatural, I suppose.
Perhaps somebody was attempting to discourage us from being here.
Maybe.
Then that must mean there's something of value to find.
Or perhaps it is a good business location.
If it was that good, someone would already be owning it. Well, before us.
Perhaps perhaps the not gold giver would not sell it.
Unless they assumed he wouldn't. Well, doesn't matter. It's ours now, and we're going to do some wonderful things with it.
Would the shepherd have seen anything? He would have inspected the entire basement by now.
You are finding empty wine casks. They are in, however, fairly decent repair. If they do smell a bit vinegary, they're probably going to need some cleaning before more bulk wine is put into them. But the bung corks are in reasonably good shape, and the spigots are in reasonably good shape. So the wine cellar is dirty and dusty, but again, there's no evidence of rats. So it's been kept reasonably clear of anything that would be unhealthy.
All right, he'll walk back upstairs then.
Relian's been checking out the kitchen. Anything in here?
You've got a broken counter in there that the top is busted in a bit. It's going to need repair. There are a number of pots and pans hanging on a rack overhead that can be used for cooking. There is also a pantry storage box area that could be used with ice if you were able to obtain it.
Okay. He's also going to go over here. He's basically looking around. He's going to see if there's any leftover food that may have rotted or any damage, any vermin. He's going to look for anything out of place, and he's also going to take a peek up the chimney to see if there's any damage up there, because Epi and Rel know some things about chimneys. They're like the Santas of Waterdeep, but they take instead of steal. I mean, they take instead of give.
Give me a perception roll. Or an investigation roll, whichever you want, whichever you feel it's. If you're just kind of generally looking at its perception, if you're really poking and looking and everything, investigation.
Yeah, if you do a job, might as well do it right. Plus, I've got, yeah, why not?
Okay, sorry.
With a 19, you are able to spot that there is some kind of blockage in the chimney. If you get in and really look up there, it looks like there is some kind of bird's nest that has been built up near the top of the chimney.
Oh, in that case, hold on.
Shoot it.
No. Spooky hand. He's going to shoot it up there and try to, like, unwedge the bird's nest and bring it towards him to see if... What the heck is this?
You hear a lot of shrill squeaking or squawking, and a large nest falls down, and two eggs fall down with it. And let me roll a d20. If it is over 10, the eggs land safely. Yeah, the nest cushions it as it falls in, so you have two eggs in your possession. They are reasonably large eggs, and from the sound, give me a survival roll and see if you are able to recognize the sound of the bird.
Okay.
No, not particularly. You can just tell from the size of the eggs that it was a sizable bird that was up there.
Hey, you let your kids roll around on the bottom of an inn, this is what you get. They get stepped on. They're mine now. Lynn's actually going to gingerly pick them up. He's going to pull out some spare cloth from his robe, and he's going to wrap up the eggs and put them somewhere safe in his robes.
Very good.
And after that, seeing no other sign of vermin or wear and tear or anything else suspicious about the kitchen, he's going to walk back out and says, "So what was that about haunting?"
There
False
was
alarm.
there was nothing haunting. There was simply an attempt to frighten anybody here away. What did you find?
Pretty decently stocked kitchen, except for the food items and a blockage in the chimney. But I've already taken care of that. The place actually looks to be... It's only the outside that appears to be a wreck. The inside actually appears to be pretty stable.
I might actually have an idea about how to get this done a little bit inexpensively, but still have it look very, very decadent and nice.
Kind of reminds me of my parents' marriage. On the outside, it was horrible, but it was nice and strong inwardly.
It's like
It's a little bit more
opening
budget, no.
onions with you.
Oh God,
What?
there's so many layers to an onion.
He's got layers.
I think what he meant was ogre.
Yeah, but he's not an ogre. At least I don't think so. Anyways, I was thinking.
I
what
knew
if
an
we
ogre.
actually-
I knew an ogre in Silvery Moon. Wasn't a nice guy.
Some of them
They
usually aren't.
very rarely are.
But I was thinking, what if we actually looked for people who are sort of wanting to become up and coming in terms of their craft and their profession? We could always have them assist. We pay them. If they can manage to make this place a functional working thing, their name would be well renowned once our business picks up.
Oh,
And
actually, we had a term back in Silvery Moon to describe workers who were paid with experience rather than coin. What were they called? Slaves? No, interns. Interns, that's it.
No, I would still be paying them money. They have to be paid something.
Yeah,
But
we can't
they-
pay them in exposure.
No, but the exposure would also lead them to make more money. It would be a sort of a scratch my back, scratch your back sort of situation
Mhm.
instead of just.
Ha-
I mean,
What
have we
would you
decided
roll?
on what?
What would you roll for business expertise? Intelligence roll check. Intelligence check.
When we had the acquisitions thing, that is basically all businesses for D&D.
Yeah. But I have a list, but what I'm more interested in is what skill would be business expertise.
Intelligence.
Insight, maybe?
Well, it would probably be like it would. To me, it would probably depend on what specific thing is related to. Is it, how to run a business? Would
No,
be it?
this
How to negotiate?
this would be
charisma?
more. This is more. Would be probably closer to carpentry, I suppose. This would be people looking around this building, outside, inside. Somebody that would be able to estimate what kind of gold expenditure you are looking at to get this place shipshape.
What did we have
Probably.
Riz roll, because he was a carpenter for his character in the previous campaign?
I don't know. Let's just roll an intelligence. Everybody roll an intelligence. See if anybody. Straight intelligence roll, not an intelligence check. Just an intelligence roll to see if you know enough about it.
God,
Oh my god! Of
damn
course,
you,
it has
Sam.
to be. It has to be Relian, the insane person of the party.
the one who also has a 0.
And Epiphany. Now, who would think he would know about carpentry? But maybe.
We know much.
Do you have any idea how many businesses these two have robbed?
We have a complete education, thank you very much. We would appreciate you not assuming about us.
I mean, 13's not too shabby on my part. Also, I think Sam, you were the wrong one, but
Surprisingly, the two underhanded people of the group know a lot about buildings and their condition. And Nakri isn't too far behind. She's
This makes so much sense for their backstory. It's not even funny.
they look around, and I would say probably they would feel a little like shuddering, however. Yes, the inside isn't too bad, but there's going to be so much paint and so many carpenters' guilds and what have you that are going to be needed for this. As Relian looks around, he just practically passes out as he adds up, and it's going to be somewhere close to 1,000 gold to get this place whipped into shape.
And just passes, he almost face palms, like a half face palm, half rubbing his face to relieve the stress, although his hands seem to go a little further into his hood than they should, and he just says, "Oh, we're going to need a loan. We are going to need such a big loan."
Was there anything that was broken and not shattered completely? We could probably repair that.
Yeah,
Well, that's going to help a little bit, but we're still going to need a massive borrowing little, we're going to need a line of credit.
or just something.
I would say that Epiphany, over a period of a day or so, might be able to repair the tables and chairs.
Epiphany would probably spend some downtime doing that then.
If this is back home, I would just, people would just end up doing things because I asked. But this is not one of those situations. We're starting from pure scratch, really.
Welcome to the big city, Sugar Scales.
Please don't call me that again.
So I'm going to ask
Bad at that.
to direct your thinking and make you start thinking about what you have to do. The loan idea is correct. You guys are going to have to decide what kind of sources or directions you might go for loans or assistance in matters. Where can you get help from? Will you make friends somewhere? Will you try to talk some faction into backing you and helping you with this? You've got Harvest Tide coming up very soon, there will be a big celebration starting in town. You're very close upon it. It's only about 5 days away. And you would probably like to have something going on during Harvesttide that you could provide to people so that you can start getting a little bit of coin coming in. What can you do in the shortest period of time for the least amount of money?
We could offer nightmares.
You're cute. I actually have an idea. Technically aren't we owed by a certain noble we found in the warehouse?
We are,
And
in
we
fact.
also saved another noble's life.
He might be on the run. It would be a little bit harder to get in touch with him, seeing as how he was
True.
nearly beaten to death. But I would say the one who actually is the target may be our better bet.
Renair.
It's a good contact. He might know people who could do favors instead of payments.
Huh, that's a way better idea than what I had. I was just going to say, let's steal bits and pieces from the yawning portal over a course of a few days.
Well, it was either that or we go find someplace rumored to have good fortune and just take it. I'm always down for a little dungeon delving myself. Yeah.
Been too long for me, though.
For those of you who have faction connections, you're very low on the totem pole. You're very little rep with your various factions. You're just neophytes with them. But you would know that in the shepherd's case, although he has long standing with his, he has not been a whole lot in contact with them. He's been so involved with the dead that he hasn't had a lot of contact, so he's kind of lost his standing over the years. But you also know that the various factions have boards that they post where they have individuals they want found, payments they want made, problems they want solved. Sometimes dealing with these kinds of people will get you a little extra funding for just running a little quickie thing, which hopefully won't be too dangerous on your health.
Appy,
Yes.
should we go get some pocket money?
Perhaps we should. We will be out for a while. We will be back. Do not mind us and do not look for us, please. Thank you. And he will start walking away.
If we're not back within 24 hours, just wait longer.
I start following them.
Don't expect you to just disappear on us. Gotcha.
Our names are not on the deed, therefore do you miss anything by having us gone? In fact, it would probably be safer for you if we were not here. Let us go, Relion.
Outside of the pleasure of your company, I would miss you greatly.
I start following them outside.
We appreciate the kind words.
As they're walking outside and heading down the street, Relion's going to allow the shepherd to fall a little while, and as he does, he's just making small talk with Epi and says, Epi, I've told you, you got to have more confidence in yourself. You have a glowing personality, and not just when you make your eyes do that thing.
And I actually turn away from them, going around the building.
All right,
He picks up a roach and eats it.
Put your token here, where you are heading and what you are doing. You're around the corner, put it around the corner. Give me a little bit of an idea of what you have in mind for where your people are.
Well, I guess I should move my character whichever way they go. So, yeah. Oh.
Cashin's gonna go with Nokri.
I'll go around here.
I think for the time being, I'm just going to see the other shops in the area to get an idea of what sort of businesses are being had. Meet the neighbors, so to speak.
Yeah, it's best to do that without us.
It looks like I go it alone. I'm actually going up to the second floor.
Okay, so you're going up to the second floor and looking around up there, and they're going off. All right, so Relion and Epiphany are headed south, or?
Actually, no. Since these two are dead ends, we'll probably be heading up here.
Right, so what are you in particular looking for, Aurelian and Epiphany?
We're going to one of our organizations, one of the few safe houses that are known to lobies like us, to see if there are any, jobs that need doing.
There would be a person behind a counter who would be looking like they are a shopkeep until certain information is passed between, and that at that point they would bring out a kind of a cork board area on which there are a number of memos stuck that you can do. The one of the things. It's a man behind the counter who introduces himself as Davil. You have met with him before in the past. He's not terribly high up in the organization, but you have met with him. And once you let him know that you are looking for work, you need a little extra coin, he says, well, someone's killing the elf and half-elf sailors down in the dock ward. There's been 3 dead so far. Each one's been decapitated by a blade in the dead of night. Look into it, will you? I think the city watch maybe could use a little help. They don't seem to be terribly worried about it since it's just the sailors. But I think there might be some coin in it if you know what I mean.
Having actual elven and half-elven family members, Aurelian's going to bang on the table and say, "Racism! That's one of my least favorite isms!"
Claws just come up. Shh. All is well, friend Rail.
All right.
So-
Maybe it looks like we're going to have ourselves a little party at the docks tonight.
So,
We involve the others. Is this a task that should be handled discreetly, or is this a task that can be openly done?
it can be done either. You are certainly going to have to spend some time researching and getting contacts and finding out information. It is not something that will be done in a single night.
Perhaps we can go do some preliminary investigation, friend Rel, and bring it back to the others. What does this task pay, if anything?
Well, there'll probably be 50 gold in it for each of you if you can successfully end the problem.
That will be worth it.
And this I will say, when they say for each of you, they mean those of you who have given contact with this organization.
Dang it. I was about to say, if it meant for 50 everyone who helped, that would actually be over half of what that would be about half of what we need.
Anyone else going to make any particular journeys to any organizations or anything that you might be interested in? Oh, by the way, while you are in the shop, Aurelian and Epiphany, do you give any information regarding what you're currently up to? Any information about Troll Skull? Anything about your current situation?
We are working on a new property endeavor, and are curious as to any advice in that regard.
I'd have to know what property you're talking about.
Well, we did a favor for well, that turned out to be a big favor for a certain someone, and instead of payment, we got the old Troll Skull Manor.
Ah! So he finally got rid of it, did he? I've been wondering who he'd
What
shove
do you
it off
mean
on.
by that? Okay. We're going to have to talk to a certain somebody soon,
Hold
Epi.
on. We would like to know what you imply by that.
Oh, the Troll Skull Manor. It was, well, a decade ago it was a thriving business, but then over the years it ran down and people didn't care so much and the clientele dropped off and it didn't make a dime, but it was certainly costing a bunch for the taxes and fees and, well, you kind of gotten hold of a money sink.
I am curious. Well, what would you what would you have considered a fair sale price for such a location?
Yeah, what did you pay for it?
Some blood.
Blood's probably about all it's worth, but you didn't spend any dragons on it? Not to get
No,
it?
we have none.
Well, zero's a good price, I suppose, but it'll take you a bit to get it fixed up.
Is there any way perhaps we could use it?
Oh, it's already set up as a tavern, but what kind of business did you have in mind?
Well, in Troll Skull Manor, is there any certain business type that and he says it in such a way to imply like we as in like
The organization.
organization would be interested in having in that area of the city, or anything that would not compete with us?
He leans on the counter and kind of looks from side to side as if he was making sure nobody was listening, which obviously no one is. You're the only one in the small shop, but he looks from side to side anyway, and he says, just having a tavern and keeping your ear to the ground is a big help.
Very well. Perhaps that is what we should focus on then, friend Aurelian.
If you need anything else done, or if some of the bigwigs are interested in the piece of property or the location there, or anything that it might be turned into, you look us up, okay, buddy? And Dabble. Can I call you Dab?
It's Dav with a V, but yeah, he kind of looks at
Oh,
you.
it's Vab. It's Vab.
Davil. V.
Oh,
The fact that
Dab.
his name's Davil and he's calling him Dab is just that perfect. Go with it.
Look. Have you given any more thought into my idea about creating a dance move and naming it after yourself?
Oh, I would love for having lyric here.
Beg your pardon. I'm not exactly what you call the dancing type.
That is okay. It sounds like a move that people who could not dance would use.
Exactly. That's why it'd be good.
Like Cashin.
Oh.
Wow.
Anyway, we'll talk to you later, buddy. Have a good one.
Epiphany and Rel at the fourth wall. Oh yeah!
Just explore Rel's insanity a bit more. The fourth wall does not exist to him half the time.
Fourth wall is his whispers. Oh, good God.
Okay, and he says, well, once you get the place fixed up a bit, we might drop around. Of course, if you're going to use it for business and not just business, you might be able to get a bit of an advance. But of course, there'll be terms. There's always terms in Waterdeep.
We understand and we will keep that in mind. We appreciate your assistance.
All right, what are Nakri and Cashin up to?
Just kind of getting a feel of what other shops are in the area. Nakrio mentioned, if we did happen to reopen the tavern for whatever the purpose might be, do you think this is something that the guards might want in on? Are they a meeting place to unwind and relax?
They would probably definitely like it.
I'm just thinking it's like, if we did open up that tavern for things. Clientele, information gathering. I mean, the possibilities are endless. A little place for coming and going adventurers as well can't hurt.
Oh, most certainly. I definitely, my first years in with adventuring, I definitely lived in a tavern half the time.
Like I said, it's a thought.
Speaking of hot, I definitely feel like something was going on there.
To which those two. Ah, cat's clawing my sides. Right.
a cat, a
Something
cat
The only
suddenly,
thing haunted.
a cat suddenly jumps out of a doorway and jumps on Nokri's
Not great.
neck.
Suddenly, Noctree is mugged by a tabaxi.
God damn it, Riddle.
Other campaign joke.
No. Ow, it's surprising enough it's a black cat that hit me.
Tabaxi did nothing wrong.
No, she truly doesn't. She's like sitting in my lap going, I was like, what did I do?
But
That
anyway,
just brought me completely out of in character. I'm so
Yep.
sorry.
So what location are you guys going to go to? Who are you going to talk with?
I am still not sure because I'm not sure what is in the area. I
Yeah.
guess I'm just trying to
we're looking for
Figure out-
businesses.
We're just kind of seeing what's here. Kind of like window shopping. You know, what you do when you don't have money, but you want to see what's in the neighborhood.
Now, if you want to be in your particular neighborhood, you're on the wrong side of the buildings. It's the other side down in Troll Alley, which has specific
okay.
people and shops that you can go into if you're interested.
Alright, I'm about face and head that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So is it down here more?
Let me move you down. Yeah, that's where you need to be, is down
Okay.
there.
Ow. Did you just happen to
Yeah,
hit
that is like a cul-de-sac area that has a lot of businesses around it. Various shingles are hung out on various buildings. The various ones, as you look around, kind of stroll around, you can see one that says the Bent Nail. It's a small wooden sign that has a large bent nail sticking out of it, and you can see over the sign there is a small, almost doll-sized, but apparently exemplary chair hanging on the bent nail. As you go by another one, there is one called the Steam and Steel. From the sounds coming from inside, you would say it's some kind of forge or something that is going on in there. There's also one called Corellion's Crown, and there is a sign on the Corellian sign. There's a painting of a lot of herbs and plants with it. There's the Tiger's Eye, which has a sign with just a large eye on it that looks very much like a tiger's eye, very similar cat-shaped eye, and it just has the Tiger's Eye Vincent Trench is all it says. It doesn't say anything more explanatory than that. You have the Bookworm's Treasure, which clearly is a bookstore. You can see some books sitting in a small window for it. Might have any number of things. And you also, Cashin notices very quickly, because he has the experience with this, as you stumble kind of down towards the end of the alley, you notice that there is a sewer cover. So there is an access to the sewers in this location, although that's not terribly unusual in a city the size of Waterdeep, that you have to have drainage areas.
Mm.
Can we check to see if it has the little fun mark?
Today it does not have a mark on it. Remember, the marks were in chalk and could be rubbed out if needed.
True.
Yeah. With the history roll, can I learn what some of the more the enigmatic business Tiger's Eye is about?
You'll find this rather interesting. Vincent Trench is fairly well known in the city for handling research into matters that the guards and City Watch would rather not be associated with, especially in the case of missing persons and such things.
So he's a detective.
I wonder.
Yeah, so Cashin points out that that the Tiger's Eye is a business of looking for missing persons and other information.
That might actually be handy. It's a good place to also see if we can make an extra bit of coin on the side.
Yeah, and they might like hearing whatever things we hear at the tavern if we're going
There's
that
that too.
direction.
Plus, it doesn't hurt that we went and found not only uh, one missing individual, but two. So in terms of being able to do legwork for them, that we can obviously prove that we can do it.
Most definitely. But and now Cashin looks to the bent nail. I think this may be the place we can go for if we need to update the furniture and get just furniture in general.
Can't hurt. I know a lot of things are going to be need to be replaced. I haven't even seen the upstairs, so that's going to be a fun one for bedding.
So, want to take a look in there?
Might as well. Seeing what sort of contacts we can make, at least.
So, we're going into the bent nail.
The front room has displays of wooden furniture around in various styles. Obviously, a good quality handmade product. He has a good way with wood. The man who is operating the thing comes out with rolled up sleeves, hammer in hand, and kind of pushes a cap back, kind of a duck-billed cap back off of his hat, and says, customers, what can I do to help you today? And my name's, well, people call me Tally. It's Talus of Arnar, but that's a bit of a mouthful, so people just call me Tally. He's clearly a half-elf, and you notice also hanging on a back wall on various hooks, he also has made various bows and wooden weapons and devices as well. So he apparently does well-rounded wooden construction.
Yeah, a well-rounded woodworker. Cashin goes and introduces himself, and then he allows Nakri to do the same.
Nakri, sorry, I'm trying to remember how I say her name. Nakata's Nakri, at your service, good sir. Though granted, you may be of more service to us. We've recently acquired the, what is it, Troll Skull?
Troll Skull Manor.
We're going to have the Troll Skull open again. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh. What was the circumstances exactly that closed down to begin with?
Well, last he got to realize any business is not going to thrive too long if the owner uses up all their profits. And I'm afraid the old owner of the Troll Skull, he had to sell for cheap because he wound up running up a few mite of bills because he liked his own products a little bit too much.
So he was just very poor in management. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I don't think we'll let that happen now, will we?
Let's hope not.
Well,
A lot of people think businesses like that will just have the money rolling in and they can drink away all the profits and they'll just keep coming in. But sooner or later you have to manage, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So as that you actually have seen because you've seen the building, we are looking to renovate it just a bit. At least get it a bit more cleaned up.
That's going to take a bit of work. That's going to take more than just old Tully here. I, uh, I will have to get some people to help from the Carpenters Union.
Understandable. We were looking for, I guess, pricing, or at least some sort of payment plan that we could work out.
Well, it all depends on exactly what you want. Obviously, redoing the facade of the building's going to take a mite of coin. It's in pretty bad shape. It'll take you a day's worth of labor just to get all the boards off the window.
Understandable, and we're not strangers of getting our own hands dirty. We'd be assisting at least.
That'll definitely reduce the cost.
Obviously, the more you do yourself, the less cost there'll be. But I can certainly lend a hand, as can the other carpenters, as soon as you want to actually have woodwork done or the posts repaired or replaced or whatever.
Well, at least the good thing is there's no actual vermin in the building, so that's one minor inconvenience down.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you can give me an idea of how much you're estimating, then we can figure it out from there. Once we have the funding, we can get started. If that's acceptable with you, of course.
Well, certainly. What do you want to start with first that I can give you pricing on?
I would say, what do you think? Cleaning up the outside at least. Making sure
Well, let me
that
see. From what I remember, the porch has some boards out. Stairs are in a bit of disrepair. The facade will need paint. That's probably going to be a large portion of your expense right there. That's probably going to be 300 or 400 dragons right there. There'll be a lot of wood, a lot of paint and shingles that will be needed to be replaced. A lot of them are missing entirely or so broken they can't be just simply repaired with glue.
And that's the exterior.
Yes.
What if we reopened it as the tavern seems to be designed as, at least on the interior?
Alas, if you were to open just the downstairs and leave the rest till later, you still are going to need that exterior done. That's going to be your first and biggest problem, unless you want to look like the skewered dragon in their mess down there. I don't think you want to look like that. But other than that, you're going to need that big upfront cost, and then you can probably get the inside done for no more than another 100, and leave the probably 400 or 500 remaining of the upstairs until later if you're not going to open the rooms or let out any rentals.
Not yet, anyways. I think that sounds actually quite agreeable. Though granted, getting the funds for that first will come first, naturally. Naturally, like I said, of course, I'm not a stranger to get my hands dirty on things. I'll assist in any way I can.
Obviously, if you're looking for funding, you can always go to the Bankers Union. Some of the lords might want to have a piece of the action, might give you a bit of a loan, but naturally, and he kind of looks at you like he's giving you some hard advice. Naturally, it's the city of Waterdeep, and the fewer loans you owe people here, the better, because it gives them grasp on you. As much as you can spend on your own, it's better.
No, that makes sense in the long run. I can see why the building went down the way it was. Well, figure something out. We still have time. It's not like the place is going anywhere, is it?
No, it's not, except falling into dust if it gets left alone much longer. Do you have anything you'd like to start on? Perhaps the safety on the stairs or the porch that we could get going on first thing? I could probably repair the stairs and the porch for, say, only 50 gold.
I would say, yeah, maybe just making sure the structural integrity is still fairly solid, stairs and whatnot. That way, no one's accidentally going through the floorboards.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Get that. I believe the inside's still pretty stable, but that entryway, somebody step on the wrong rotted board and they'll go right down to the cellar the hard way.
Yep, and we'll be having a lot of drunken revelers if things go the right way, so best to get that out of the way right now.
That sounds good. How
I'm
soon do
going
you want
to-
me to start?
I'm going to not even blink an eye, just continuing making eye contact with Tully and slip him 54 dragon right off the bat, just not even blinking.
Then he will nod and he'll say, I'll get to work on that first thing tomorrow morning.
Excellent. I will be waiting outside to let you in.
Sounds like a plan, Cashin says, and he puts down the bow he was inspecting.
All right, now, what was the shepherd doing? He was upstairs inspecting.
Yeah. If there is a haunting, he's going to try to get rid of it.
I say leave it. Make it a haunted tavern. That'll draw in people.
For like an hour, then to leave.
What exactly are you doing to explore such possibilities?
He's just looking around right now, seeing if anything happens during the haunting, like if someone or like if a spirit like gets angry and throws stuff or something. So he's just walking around, like just looking, making sure everything is in place or whatnot, and essentially like not moving or anything.
At this point in time, you don't encounter... Give me a perception roll, see if anything strikes you as unusual or anything.
Perception, that is an 8. I am very perceptive tonight.
You look around and occasionally you see like some curtains moving, but then you realize a window was left open and probably it was just a breeze blowing through these kind of dusty, musty curtains. And look as you may, you don't spot anything specific that would indicate there's any ghost in the area.
And when he's thoroughly satisfied that there is no haunting, at least that he can see, he's gonna return going downstairs. And if no one's back, he's probably gonna get into contact with one of his faction people.
All right.
So wherever the closest area is for that.
He finds a building. There's a music shop that is not too far away from your area. That is the contact for those who are either new or have been out of contact for a while. And you find a very elegant young woman. She is short. She looks like she might have wood elf blood or something in her background, but she doesn't look like she's even half. It looks like it's rather distant, but her height is quite short because of it. And she is in the area as you step in. She looks up brightly and smiles at you, and she says to you as if she expects you to know what she's saying. Ah, are you here for the opera ticket?
And I honestly don't know how to respond to that. Would it just be like, yes, I am, or something like that? Yes, child, I am here for a ticket.
And she smiles. Certainly, I will be glad to help you with that, sir. And then she says, you've not been seen in these parts for a long time, Shepherd. We thought perhaps you had given us up.
Certain matters tend to catch my attention far longer than most, unfortunately. The City of the Dead is probably for the best not to be under my watch for now.
I hope there were no matters that were dangerous. The city doesn't need any danger.
Nothing dangerous.
You would know that this small woman is named Mert. You don't know her as anything but that, M-I-R-T. It's the only name you've ever heard her referred to as.
Tell me, Mert, is there anything that may require my attention now?
Well, it's quite possible we have some things that might need your talents. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Still teaching my protege, Lyric. He seems to have bitten off a bit more than he could chew and has returned back to the yawning portal. But he did manage to give me these, and I go through my bag and I will pull out the file of paperwork that was the blackmail paperwork. I can't make any sense of this, but maybe someone else that's more knowledgeable than me.
I will pass this along. This looks like it could be very interesting. I do have a most unusual request. You might find it rather strange, actually, but it concerns one of our members. Well, you see, we sometimes employ rather unusual names, and one of our members is well, I suppose I just need to come out and say it. You see, Maxine, that's her name. Maxine is a horse. And Maxine keeps an eye on the city for us as she pulls her dray around the city. She spots a lot of things for us, and she passes on the information. But a few days ago, Maxine turned up missing, and we're very concerned that either she's been found out or something has happened to her that has injured her. We would like to have Maxine found.
I'll just ask the obvious question. None of the safe houses recalled seeing her anywhere.
No, she just patrols the cities during the regular work hours. Her merchant friend, who runs the dray, is unaware of her connections. In fact, he's kind of unaware of her abilities, and he thinks that he's imbibed too much when he sometimes encounters them. So we've been keeping him kind of in the dark, and all he knows is he's missing his horse.
Very well, I'll look into the matter. Who's the fellow that I should see about trying to find this, then?
Joshua Ilbin.
Joshua. I'll try to start my investigation. Where would I find this man?
First, you can check the stables where he has his thing, and she gives you an address of where the stables are. You can check his stables. You'll probably find Joshua there. He has not been able to make his rounds, and I know he is also out looking to purchase another horse. So you might check some of the stables, the livery stables, in case he's been there looking for a horse.
All right. Well, how secretive must this be? I am currently in party with a group of adventurers right now that Lyric was previously affiliated with.
Secretive as on the surface, not at all. You have found a job to find a missing horse. However, we would rather that her other talents be kept a little bit quiet.
Understood. I'll pull back my hood just a little bit so that you can actually see my face and give a warm smile to her. Thank you for the ticket.
Excellent. We will be happy to pay you. As long as you are a member of the organization, you would receive 50 gold for your returning the horse properly to her owner.
Very well. And unless there's anything else, I'll make my exit.
She thanks you very much, and she says louder because there are some people coming in the door. And here are your opera tickets. I hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you very much, miss. Now I'll take my leave.
Okay, so you've all found several things that are of key interest. Do you regroup at the Trollskull Manor?
Before that, Cashin looks to Nockley and say, so, we're gonna have to get quite a bit of money to get this done.
I do believe at least to get us a little bit started. Jobs and most likely calling in that favor from that one young man.
For now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I have a possible way to get us some jobs.
Do tell.
You've heard that I am a bit of an ex-guard, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's somewhat true.
Okay.
The organization I work for is one of the 3 protectors of the city. There's the City Watch,
Mm-hmm.
the City Guard,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the less, I guess you could say, less popular group.
Okay.
They are known as the Grey Hands, if you didn't know.
I'm unfamiliar only because I'm still new in the city itself.
The Grey Hands are mostly The Grey Hands are made up of a number of adventurers such as myself. But
Mm-hmm.
we're mostly on the lower level, as there's the more elite force.
Mm-hmm.
You may know them as Force Grey.
I've heard tales, but go on.
Well, suffice to say that, like, that Force Grey and the Grey Hands in general aren't popular, but we still do a lot of work in the city, protecting it and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Just the matter of collateral damage, but hopefully we can. Hopefully, my reputation won't damage our attempts at finding work through the group.
Oh, I mean, any avenue that we can explore down, even if it, as long as it doesn't end up costing us too much, I don't think that should be an issue. After all, renovating this place and trying to get it on its feet is going to cost us a small fortune, which I kind of wish I didn't leave so much behind home.
I wish I didn't drink. I wish I didn't have drank so much of mine away.
Lessons to be learned, I suppose.
Well, what can you do?
Foresight, never won for it.
Anyway,
She mockingly just makes a little cheers to our future.
well, let's hope we find them in a good mood and open to any suggestions of mine.
Well, I'll let you cross that avenue. I'm going to try and try and do things. I think I'll be able to get into Savanair myself, but you explore your avenues. I've got mine for right now. Probably should check in on Relian and Epiphany to see what they've dug up, and then the shepherd. I'm not sure what he was attempting to do when we left, but we should make sure that he doesn't need anything.
Alright then, it's a plan.
Alright, so we'll start with Cashin first. You are going to go to one of the, it's a guard office, but there's a little small office on the side. And as you come in, the recruitment sergeant who is sitting behind a desk in the main open area kind of looks at you and nods at you with a not terribly friendly look, but he just like gives a nod of his head like there's nobody, it's not busy in the other room, you can go on in.
Alright, Cashin just gives a small wave, trying not to step on any toes as he goes inside.
Happy trails. I will definitely head back to the keep to see if there's anything else to be explored. Probably poking around the upstairs floors carefully.
When you go in, one second.
Trapdoor. You fall and die.
There is a rather grizzled-looking old man who is wearing a gray cloak, but it's thrown back, and he has a kind of a bandana or almost stylish turban effect on his head, kind of rakish, the way it's tilted to the side with kind of a poof. But it looks like he's worn that turban-like bandana for a very long time. It's not new. And he looks up from some papers that he's looking at and he says, Cashin, I haven't seen you in quite a while.
Yeah, lots of drinking to do, lots of gambling. You know how it is.
Yep, but you're not reporting any information that might be of use either. We need you to stay on your toes. It's why you lost standing in the first place. Let's not repeat history, shall we?
Well, speaking of reporting information, have you heard about that kidnapping case?
Yeah, I know of several. Which one are you talking about? I know the Canaan sisters were missing, and I know several things.
The one concerning one of the nobles.
With you mean that matter with Renair?
Yep, and Floon Blackmar.
Oh, I did catch wind of that a little bit. A day or so ago, I heard that they were missing, and then someone came in and said they'd been found. Were you part of that?
Yep.
Well, tip my hat to you. I'm glad you're doing a little something good.
Mm-hmm. Well, as for my reward for that, me and associates were given a tavern.
A tavern for doing the job? That's unusual pay. What tavern?
Troll Skull Manor.
All right, that'll take a pretty penny to get going after the owners drank it into the ground. What do you plan on doing?
Well, renovating it and, well, making a profit and, using it to collect information,
Well, that part we're always glad for. If you can get anything, that will be very welcome. Needless to say, we could use a little bit of hand in the information department. If you'd like a kind of an easy task, how are you on climbing cliffs?
What did he say?
How good are you at climbing cliffs?
Well, I definitely. Well, I'm more good at climbing roofs and buildings, but I'm not. Well,
No, you're not.
let's see how it goes.
Well, if you break your neck, we won't be out anything, you see. But we've got an informant. He does a lot of things, and we try to keep our connections with him kind of distant so that he doesn't get any knives in the back. And he has a guise of being like an old nothing hermit that lives out up on Mount Waterdeep, up on that cave that's up there off the cliff. Takes a little bit of doing to get to him, but he may have some information for us, and we'd like you to be our go-between and see what he's got for you. His name is Hyam.
Got it. Anything to say so that he knows who I am?
Just give him a gray hand mark.
Right.
Anyway, if you're willing to risk your neck and you come back safely, besides getting a little of your reputation back, I'd be willing to pass on some money to you as well.
Thanks. What's this guy's name?
Hyam.
No, the turban guy.
Oh, his name is Salid Emif.
Thanks, Amif.
Well, very good. Don't make a total stranger of yourself. I'd like to see you get back in standing someday, Cashin.
Well, I think I'm past the self-loathing stage.
Well, that's good. Maybe you're on the mend finally. I hate to see a man go down the tubes. That's what happened to the owner of the Troll Skull, and I don't want you to follow him down that cesspool.
Anything? By the way, can you tell me anything about who they were?
Well, they were a seventh son of a seventh son of a noble. Not much of anything to speak of. No real letters to introduce them to anything, and they took their bit of inheritance and opened up the Troll Skull. Only they found out they needed a head on their shoulders besides just a title on their great-grandfather's shoulders.
Got a name?
Goldspur.
Alright then. Well, I'll go see about meeting a hermit.
Very good. All right, so you now have something you can do. So are we gathering yet to decide what your order of business will be on this?
I think Epiphany and Relian, before heading back, would want to investigate a bit into the docks, just to like get a quick lay of the land, as opposed to just going in blind. Or at least that's where Epiphany is going.
What exactly? Who are you going to talk to? What establishments are you thinking about entering? What kinds? Are you going down to the ships? Are you going into a tavern? What are you doing?
Yeah. Basically, he would want to go talk to. How long would it take us to like get down to the docks and talk to some of the dock workers, like maybe their coworkers?
It would probably take you most of the day to get all the way down there, do some talking, and get back to Troll Skull. So you'd probably be evening by the time you got back to Troll Skull. Pretty much would be the same for all of you, that your various activities would take you the better part of the afternoon to do, because by the time you had looked over the place, evaluated, and taken off, it was somewhere around noon.
Would we be able to get to go to the docks, get to the manor, and then meet up with the rest of the party, and then get back to the docks before too much time has passed, say like before midnight or anything?
If you are going to spend the evening out, yes, you could get back to the docks before midnight. It would probably be the group of you would finish your initial contacts around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You would gather at the inn to discuss things, and then you could take out for as long as you wanted during the evening, as long as you weren't planning on doing anything that had a full rest needed or anything, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I've got all my spells, so I'm good.
Well, I was thinking more in terms of exhaustion. You spend the entire night up and then take out. You'd have a level of exhaustion.
Well, at some point, I'm going to blast my 2 sorcery points for a first level spell slot and get that back. But yeah, so Epiphany would push for at the very least talking to dock workers and some local business just to kind of get the lay of the land for because somebody people getting decapitated, just people notice and talk.
We could go back to the manor, tell everyone what we're doing, rest up for an hour, just a quick 1 hour short rest to avoid that exhaustion, and then get back to the docks. Maybe decently before it gets dark out.
Yeah, you could make it back while there's still dusk on the streets. And there are certainly, in most of the dock ward with the main streets, there are streetlights. It's only when you get off into the shadier lanes that criminal types, thugs, have knocked out stolen the candles, knocked out the street lamps so they can be in the dark. But the main streets are still kept and maintained.
Yeah, I think that would be a better plan. Get back to the manor, tell them where we're going, or if they want to come, rest for an hour to avoid the exhaustion, and then get to the docks before it gets dark.
Okay.
All right, so can I meet all of you back up at the Troll Skull Inn?
Yeah.
All right, so what you need to discuss what your plan of attack is regarding these various things. Are you going to each share the general quest that you got, not maybe giving them some of the details, but are you sharing? What are you doing?
Cashin's definitely gonna tell them that he's going to meet up with a hermit. Though he's not gonna say anything more than that.
I'll go over the pricing of repairing at least the outside and the first floor in total.
That is a hefty sum.
Indeed. I'm definitely thinking that we should seek out Renair.
We should definitely. I'm Renair and Floon. I think we should seek them both out, to be honest, because the more backing.
I would assume Floon is halfway out of the city by now, given everything that happened to him. It would be far too dangerous for him to stay in the city, given that he's seen, faces.
Yes, I believe we overheard the one who does not pay in gold telling his friend to leave the town as soon as possible.
Ren is, although that'll actually involve talking to the guard because they took custody of him, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, we'll find good old Renair first thing tomorrow morning. But until then, I've got a class assignment for you guys.
What have you found?
So, we got word that over at the dock area, someone is killing people with elven blood. And if there's one thing I don't like, it's people going around killing knife ears.
That is a very strange way of being concerned.
It's okay. It's okay. I can use that word. It's fine.
With
I
him,
don't think that's how it works.
You know what? We'll just chalk it up to his mannerisms. Because
I mean, he's brought up an interesting point. If the sailors is being killed off for racist reasons, that could provide a problem, especially if they're a significant number within that workforce.
What's more, me and Epi are getting paid by some friends of ours to solve this problem. But I was also thinking, if we're smart about this, we might be able to swing a second reward from the guards, and if not, at least we'll get some good publicity with the sailors, build up a little clientele before we even open up shop.
It's not a terrible idea. Bringing in any sort of exchange of information here would be quite beneficial to me. I know that much.
So who wants to rest for a little bit, then go stay up all night?
I'm gonna side-eyed look at the rest of them. I'm not sure.
I do know first thing in the morning I have to be here to have someone come out and check the stability of the building, plus fix most of the stairs.
Perhaps we should see if there's any one of them. If Brutal Smasher requires to be here, then perhaps one of the other ones would rather accompany us.
To be honest, I don't think you'll probably need to be here to let them in, because he goes over to the door and just kind of wobbles it a little bit. I think they'll be able to get in by themselves.
It's a formality.
It's a formality. Plus, I also want to make sure the work gets done. You know, without cutting corners too much. Sort of a trust thing.
I thought cutting corners was the whole point of why they were coming here.
Cutting corners and going so cheap that things fall apart and we have to spend more money to get it repaired. Two different things.
Oh, you were talking about the metaphorical cutting corners. I was talking about the literal cutting corners.
No. Why do you do this to me?
Okay, so for the remainder of the evening, what are your plans of where each of you are going to go and what are you going to do?
So, Relevant Epiphany, seems like we're going to present our plan to go investigate the beheadings with the group and see if anybody would like to join us for a stakeout. Somebody else has to bring the donuts, though. We're broke.
We're not, but we're just saying that.
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to let them.
You think none of them aren't either?
Who else going with them to the dock?
I don't know.
I mean,
as far as I know, I'm not a friend.
None of your as far as Epiphany is concerned, only Rel is friend.
Cashin's gonna go with them just so he can reduce the casualty rate.
Team effort probably should go too. Be a good way to see what's going on exactly. I mean, as long as I make it back to do what I have to do with the worker, that works out for me. I'll just stay awake extra.
What's your timing going to be on climbing the hill to see a hermit, Cashin? What do you picture your timing being when you go climb a hill to see a hermit?
I think tomorrow after Nakria, brings the carpenter over to start doing repairs.
Okay, and
he'll just leave then and start climbing.
So you'll come back in time to get a good rest before you go.
Mm-hmm.
And what will the shepherd? When will he go see a man about a horse?
He hasn't even said anything about a man about a horse. About it.
No,
Yeah, but you
the
still know
DM
that.
is asking. The DM is asking what you think the timing will be when you go see about a horse.
What time is it now?
It's evening.
Evening? And how far away is the stables now?
Oh, you probably, from the stables that she gave you, they would be up in the upper section of this ward, so probably you could get there with half an hour's walk.
As far as going on a stakeout about these murders going on sounds intriguing. I do have to go and find a horse. So I will take my leave for now.
Rather strange thing to say, but understandable, I guess.
It's work for now.
Oh, understood. Now, I know you have no claim. You have no claim on the deed, but I don't know if you're actually interested in going into business with us.
I was gonna ask what kind of business were we planning to begin with.
I
It seemed like some otherworldly force kept interrupting me when I was trying to ask.
I told you that this place was haunted.
I think we were going to attempt to reopen the tavern. At least get a place for information trading. That's what I think would probably be a better fit. So helping out
What was it?
the tavern, at least get a place for information trading to find extra work.
Depending on how much space we need, if we're really smart about it and we turn a profit, we could turn the majority of the upstairs into, small rooms. We might be able to turn this place into a proper inn, or at least a tavern boarding house combo.
I mean, there's that.
Certainly.
And the DM will ask, since the rooms are in dusty condition, a little bit run down, what are your plans regarding resting and sleeping overnight? Where, over the scope of, say, the next week while you're working on the place, where will you be sleeping? First of all, Nockery, you've got other residence areas. Will you be sleeping here in the building?
Yeah, someone's got to keep an eye on it. I mean, it's open for anyone just to walk into. She's probably going to be like, you know what? It's mine. I'm going to make sure no one freeloads. So she'll probably use like camping equipment to sleep inside the house.
Epiphany will freeload.
Yeah, Cashin's going to do the same. He's already he's immediately going to claim his room.
Very good.
You know what? We have a base. Let's
plant the flag, and that's your headquarters. What's the shepherd do?
The shepherd would be polite and ask if he stay, since it's not his house.
Of course. I mean, you're working with us, and if you bring in coin to help fix this place up, actually, you'll be allowed to stay here. I don't see an issue with it.
Very well. I don't require a large space. A small room would be fine with me.
Okay, so I'm assuming that the attic bedroom and attic storage are Rel and Epiphany's?
You know, those are the perfect size for me.
Well, Rel and Epiphany already said the attic was theirs.
I know.
Well, I'm open to the master bedroom.
We are open to compromise.
Okay, so, all right. So who is getting the master bedroom? Just out of curiosity.
Let me slide.
Who's on the,
I'm going to slide.
On the deed?
I'm going to slide the ribbon over and have you discuss where you're planting your flags. Write your name when you think you know where you're going to be. Write your name in the space.
Or just get your token out and go into that room.
I've got an idea.
No, token might move.
Why don't we draw straws, i.e. roll a d20 and see who gets the master bedroom?
Well, okay. First off, let's just see what bedrooms we have. So at the second floor, we have a bedroom, a spare room. Okay, so there's two bedrooms there basically, and then there's a den if we want to consider that.
The common room is actually a bedroom because that's the cheap flophouse area. There's a number of bunks in that area as well as card tables and this kind of thing. It's the group sleeping area that the person who had very little money could get just a bed.
Yeah. And then then on the third floor, there's one bedroom with a private bath, and then a master bedroom with a private bath. So
looks like both of those are
1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have an attic bedroom. So we have 5 bedrooms.
And a common hall, which is really a bedroom too. So yeah.
Well, based off this whole thing, the common room looks like it goes out into that stairs. I guess maybe the den could be considered another bedroom.
Maybe.
I was thinking maybe knock down that wall and maybe combine the den and the common room into just a common sleeping area? Like if we do want to turn this place into a
Well-
boarding house or an
Well,
inn?
no, yeah, my only concern about that is like the front door is right there. So I mean, sleeping as you walk in, that
When they actually in a lot of the taverns, they literally sold head room where you could lay your arms on the tables down in the tavern and try to sleep in the tavern. So if in the medieval days, you slept
Well, if you-
wherever they let you sleep under a roof.
Yeah, so like so basically they come in here and like nobody goes up here, you know,
yeah.
necessarily. Like unless you're paying more money, you're not going up here.
So sorry. What if we
so
got? Sorry, what if we
yeah.
open this up, wall off this section, and then open up this to be like one large or multiple little rooms, depending on the space size.
The alternative, I was thinking that if Rel and Epiphany don't get like up here, then they could take the den.
I was joking. You guys can have the attic if you.
Because don't you also have when? Trying to figure. Okay, so it looks like Cassian's room has access to
The turret peak.
the turret peaks.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Which I
I'm
think
assuming
is
the third peak.
Is that exposed?
Not open to the outside. No, there are windows.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. So if
No,
you
it's
don't want-
it's a garret.
Okay, but could it be converted into like a small bedroom?
Well, you're looking at a space that's only about 7 feet across there, so it'd be a really small bedroom. But yeah.
So, I mean, if you're really talking about having a really small bedroom, I mean, alternatively, yeah, the shepherd could just have like a bed in the library.
He's got one. He's got one of those pull-out couches from the wall.
Okay, so then the real
Frame the Roger Rabbit.
so then I guess the real question is: Are Rel and Epiphany bunking together, or are we splitting up the duo?
I mean,
Who's Big Spoon, who's Little Spoon?
Oh God.
I mean, you don't sleep in a bed. You sleep under a bed. So
True.
He's your monster under your bed.
No, he's the monster over mine.
but there's still some debate regarding that, actually.
You guys are just you guys are taking turns on who's the monster.
Exactly.
That's the big spoon, little spoon aspect.
Who's top and who's bottom?
Don't make it weird.
You made it weird.
Yeah,
Already done.
we're the ones making it weird.
You guys are, which is weird in and of itself.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
If I can be completely honest, what would make sense to me is just so they can keep out of sight for most of the time. Rel and Epi take the attic bedroom.
Yeah, makes sense.
The shepherd would take the bedroom on the second floor next to the spare room, which, since the spare room is very small, Cassian would take.
He wanted
the
to
bedroom.
take have a bed in the study because he figures there's a lot of things there for him.
Would
I
he
mean, I'll
prefer that? Would the shepherd
Shepherd?
personally prefer that?
Prefer what one?
You want to be in the bedroom here, which
Oh, hold on. I got something covering it. The handout. Do I want to be where?
they're asking if you want to be in this bedroom here or in the study where you have your token.
I thought that the room that my token's in right now is the library study.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
It is. That's what he's asking. Do you want it to be? Do you just want to have a little nook where you have a bed and you can just stay in the study / library full time?
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, alternatively, like this is a spare bedroom, so like this can be like his small room, and then
So
I figured all of us. I think I figured
essentially we'd
all.
we'd all have the third floor and higher, and then the second floor, when we get to it, we can make it into like an actual
boarding
area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear on what's up.
I mean, we could always convert the attic storage to a bedroom later That way you have a room per se.
And that would
I
make
mean-
it easy for you to have a rope across the stairs saying administration only.
Basically,
Yep.
plus the library, because with everything that I think our characters are like, having the library and study open for us to come in and out of would make the most sense. But I mean, for now, he can chill there. I don't care.
Actually, you know what? That wouldn't
Oh.
be a bad idea either. Like, since there's basically nothing up here, and it's, for all intents and purposes, a bit of wet clay for us to mold, we could just convert now the attic storage into another attic bedroom. The attic will just be a dual bedroom area, like, and up there will be Epi, Rel, and the Shepherd. Cashin would get the bedroom leading to the guard tower. Nokri would get the master bedroom, and that would be the third floor in the attic, completely ours. And like you said, we can just convert the entirety of the second floor into a boarding house, or a group sleeping area, or little rooms, whatever we decide.
Or
Whatever's
like-
cheaper.
Yeah, like one business office plus rooming.
Well, very good.
Like,
I'm going to slow us down here just a bit because
Sorry.
we're kind of up on time. But so basically, you've got your sleeping arrangements are basically the upper floor, the top floor and attic are basically administrative floors for you, and eventually you will convert floor 2 into sleeping rooms for rent. And you will have the tavern downstairs. So where we will be taking up next week, you will be having someone coming and starting the repairs on the porch and the frontal area of the building. And you will have the night before that you spend starting your investigation in the dock room. I have that about right? And then we will have, once the repairs are kind of handled, Cashin will have his trip to the mountain.
sounds about good.
Sounds about right.
I can already see the pricings in my head. 3 silver to sleep at the table. You want a bed that'll cost you a dragon.
Yeah. What time of day will you be going searching for a horse, Shepherd?
I figured I'd at least start the investigation right now to the
All right, so you'll be
the stable.
You'll be doing it in the evening. Okay, I needed to know. So you'll be going one way and they'll be going another. So I'll get that set up that we'll have kind of a split party on investigations next week. That will work. So with that, we have our procedure forward started, and we have the building started towards being worked on. So we'll see what you're able to do. You're going to have to do a little bit of sweeping and dusting and cleaning in those rooms because they're pretty dusty, but you've got a place to camp. I don't suppose it's any dirtier than a trailside camp out in the woods.
No, it's filthy. It's absolutely filthy.
It's better than sleeping in the graveyard.
Absolutely. That with that wonderful concept for all of you tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. We were glad to have you. Put in any input that you might have about what either in the comments below the video or in the comments in the chat or whatever. Give us any input that you think that they should do for businesses or how they should approach it. We'll open this a bit for viewer opinions and what you want to do. My site also has a comment section on it that you can type comments in as well when we're not on air and streaming, so you are welcome to go there and type in any comments and leave them regarding the stream or what the characters should do. We'll get your input on what's the best method of attack for them to make money with this business before they really start getting their necks into the next big confrontation. Because they also have to remember, they've got a stone of Golor and something going on with that, so they're going to have to find out about that as well. So over time,
Let's open up a protection racket.
Let's not.
We agree.
so with that, we will bid you good night from Crone's Crucible next Saturday, hopefully with no toddlers doing strange and terrible things to sisters' hands. We will have a stream on Saturday night in the land of Mir, so that Kyle can get in his DMing next week. Emergencies came first. Real life always comes first. So we will bid you good night unless anybody has anything else they wish to add.
Bye, everybody. Remember, before you judge a man, walk a mile in his shoes. After that, who cares? He's a mile away and you've got his shoes.
Exactly.
Good night, all.